Hey there YouTube, this is LightgamerAmaterasu for Card Bros Forever. This is a deck profile for my Darkness Dragon World deck, or to be more specific, my Death Ruler deck. Alright, of course I use Darkness Dragon World flag. And my buddy, Death Ruler Gallows. Alright, heading into size 1s. I run 4 Death Ruler Gallows. Of course, he's my buddy, so I'm going to run 4. His call cost is 1 gauge. He has the Shadow Dive ability, which means he can attack your opponent even if they have a monster in the center. And his other ability, Soul Absorption Chain. When he deals damage to the opponent, you gain 1 life. So that, with the buddy gift, that's easily 2 life. I run 4 Death Ruler Averia. Death Ruler Averia does not have Shadow Dive, but he does have the Death Dive. When he's destroyed by an opponent, he deals 1 damage to your opponent. And if if you call him and your opponent has an open center, he does have that 2 crit, which just adds up. Then I run 3 Death Ruler Galkite. Death Ruler Galkite, he does not have Shadow Dive like Averia, but during your turn, if an attack is nullified, you can choose one of your opponent's gauge and send it to the drop zone, which really adds pressure to the opponent. It's like, okay, do I want to nullify this, or do I need to keep my gauge? And it could really mess them up. Then I run 3 Death Ruler Burials. I really do want to run a 4th because it's a free 2 crit Shadow Dive, but I can't just find the room for it. Like I said, he has Shadow Dive, so he can bypass the center. 2 crit, what can I say? Run 3 Death Dragon, Death Gaze Dragons. 6,000 attack, 1 crit, so he's really offensive. He doesn't have Shadow Dive, but, first off, his call cost is 1 gauge. He has Spectral Strike, which, if he destroys an opponent's monster, he deals X amount of damage to the opponent. In this case, his Spectral Strike damage is 2. Really nice for those walls and for Raging Spirits. Then I run 2 Death Ruler Cremation. Death Ruler Cremation is 5,000 attack, 1 crit, so like Death Gaze, he's offensive. He does have Shadow Dive, but I mainly use him for his attack stat. Three Death Ruler Guren. He's 1 gauge to call, 4,000 attack, 3 crit. So he's decently critted. He doesn't have Shadow Dive, but he does have a counter. You can destroy this card to destroy an opponent's size 1 or less. So say you have an opponent monster that you want to keep, or if they're attacking Guren himself, you can blow him up to blow up that size 1 or another size 1. Two Death Wizard Dragons. On call, he puts the top 2 cards of your deck into the gauge and you take 1 point of damage. It's really good just for gauge charging, and if you first turn him, he has that 2 crit, and the 2 crits do add up during the game. On to size 3s, I think I forgot to say on to size 2s with Guren, oh well. 2 Death Ruler 13s. He's 13,000 attack, 2 crit, so his attack is really up there. 2 gauge to call. When on call, he deals 1 damage to the opponent, although if the opponent has exactly 13 cards in their drop zone, he deals them 5 points of damage. It's a bit gimmicky, but when you can pull it off, it's a really good feeling. He has double attack, so, those Raging Spirits, if they don't Raft Trigger, because Raft Trigger can blow him up as he only has 3,000 defense. Although you could side in Dark Energy for that, which I'm considering. For Death Grips, what can I say? It's Death Grip. Pay 1 gauge to blow up a size 2 or less monster in the opponent's field. Although against Raging Spirits I don't need it because, well, Raging Spirits are mostly size 3s, with the exception of Ricky. So I just side in Death Damage. For Death Damage, it doesn't have a cost, but it isn't to counter. Death Damage can blow up any monster on the opponent's field, no matter the size. Then we run for Abyss Symphonies. Abyss Symphony is your just generic, when you're at X amount of life, pay 1 gauge and draw 2 cards. You can only use this card once per turn. What can I say? For Midnight Shadows, your attack nullifier. That's just all that needs to be said. For Black Dragon Shields, Black Dragon Shield does not nullify an attack, so if you're up against, like Yami Ghetto and stuff, the Thunder Mine won't go off. If you're fighting an Asmodai deck, they activate not Judge Asmodai. Asmodai's Eternal Rolling Backdrop. And with the amount of Asmodai support that Magic World's gotten, it is possible for Eternal Rolling Backdrop to hit 6 damage to you. Black Dragon Shield reduces that to 0, and you gain 1 life. Two Judgment Days. Judgment Day is pay 1 gauge, and all your Death Attribute monsters get 1 crit until end of turn. It's not really that important in the deck, but it is nice to have that extra crit behind your monsters, especially the ones with Shadow Dive. Two Nightmare Revives. Nightmare Revive, for 2 life, you can grab any 2 Death Rulers from your drop zone and add them to your hand. It's really nice, if you need the monsters, it allows you to get them, and Gallows can make up that cost easily. But that cost is the only reason why I'm running it at 2. Two Black Agendas. Black Agenda is a set spell. When a death on your left or right is destroyed, you may pay 1 gauge. If you do, call a size 1 death from your drop zone to anywhere in your field by paying its call cost. So say if a death monster on your left or right is destroyed, you can bring back Averia for 1 gauge. And yeah, if you remember, Averia on destruction by your opponent, it deals them 1 damage. Then finally, 2 Black Revengers. Black Revenger, if you're at 5 or less life, you pay 1 gauge, you can get a size 1 or a size 2, or a size 1 and a size 2 from your drop zone and add them to your hand. So like that you can add Guren, Gallows, etc. Alright, and that's all for this deck profile. I'll see you in the next video.